Hello, friends.
We're here to shop. We've got the buzzword reading challenge. Do you know the prompts?
Oh, God, I don't.
Wow. We're insulted. It's the word never.
See? I did know.
You knew at one point.
I did.
And you've completed that one already because you read Never Flinch this year. So you're ticking off all the boxes. The cover is food or drink.
So, never in food.
Never in food. I don't think I'm going to find them on the same one. But I'm dying to know your update. I remember the book that I picked for you from Jennifer Armentrout, and I think you loved it. And then you picked the time travel one, and I think you probably thought it was good. And then I think you tried House of Leaves again, and you stopped again.
That's not correct.
Darn! I thought my predictions were I'm so good at predicting things. Okay, so you read the Jennifer Armentrout. Did you finish it?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I finished it, and it was good.
Okay.
Like, the ending was like, oh, yeah, okay.
Oh,
It's just like this book and just like this book. Yeah, okay. And the time travel one, I cannot remember what it's called.
It's called like a moment in time or a memory in time or something like that.
It's obviously the first in a series.
Yeah.
Because of the way it ends.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good. It was, I don't know if you would like it so much because the main character is an FBI agent.
Right.
And so it's very detective-y. Imagine you're a police detective nowadays. And you get transported back 150 years.
Yeah.
And you're female.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to listen to you. And nobody thinks you have a thought in your head. And you're trying to tell them, well, this is how we're going to figure this out. And they're like, no. Right?
Okay. So is it like, does it turn out to be like kind of an empowering story? Like she does solve the things and she is seen as smart? Or is it just like, okay.
And the one like, not, I could see him in the future becoming a love interest, but right now he's intrigued.
Okay. Did you rate either of these?
I did. I don't remember.
They both kind of sound like 3s to me.
I think I had a lot of 3s.
Okay. What else did you read? I can't remember anything
And there
else.
was the other one, the Ruth Ware.
0
days.
Uh-huh.
I think I gave that one a 3.
Okay.
I can't remember what that one's about because I found another book at home that you had given me in a stack that somehow I didn't realize I had or thought I had read it already, but it was another Ruth Ware, One Perfect Couple.
Oh, the like reality show?
Yeah. So I just finished that one yesterday. So that's the only one that's in my head right now.
It's where like her husband goes missing or dies or whatever, and people think he was responsible for something. So
no, they think she killed him, so she has to find out who really did it to clear her name.
Oh yeah, and he has a friend who she goes to like.
Yes.
There's like a cabin. She's with this friend. Blah blah blah. Wait, so you read One Perfect Couple?
I did.
I feel like you probably liked that one more then.
I think I gave it because you can't give half marks.
Yeah.
Right? I thought it was better than a 3, but I didn't think it was a 4, but I gave it a 4 because it didn't deserve a 3.
You're preaching to the choir.
Right?
That one's definitely more action-packed.
Yes.
Because I like her mysteries. So that one I hated. I really hated that book because it was just like the same thing for 200 pages, I feel like. They were like, we need to survive. There's a bad man. I need to survive.
Right.
That man is bad. Oh, he's bad. That man, he's really bad. Okay, so you didn't try out House of Leaves again?
I didn't.
Yeah, that's fair. Don't. Don't do it.
My bedside table and my stereo stand were overflowing. So I bought a bookcase.
You bought a bookcase?
I bought a bookcase off of Marketplace. And so
Wait,
it's one of those it does this.
You have like a
and it's full.
one?
It's full already. But now there's no books on my nightstand, so
Well, I guess you're gonna have to eventually do an unhaul. Because you can't keep all the books you didn't like.
Oh, but I don't like getting rid of books.
Me neither. I get it from you.
Yes, you absolutely do.
Okay, well today we're gonna add to that shelf. What are you trying to buy?
I would like to try to find Red Rising.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'd like to read a science fiction type of book.
I went to reserve that from the library, but I think it's having like a resurgence right now, and the holds are for months. So, okay.
Yeah.
Pumpkins, candy canes. Is any of this actually food? More pumpkins. Tea, pumpkin loaf. I think I need a cozy fall romance, is what I'm realizing. I was just walking by this section. I wasn't planning on picking anything here. But this is food. And it's already on my TBR. I wasn't thinking about popcorn as food. Oh my god, you're a genius. What? Wait, why didn't I think of just searching?
This one, they don't have it in store though.
Oh.
But then
I've read that one. You've read that one.
yeah, If I Never Met You.
That's on my TBR shelf. I own that book.
There you go.
I can read that one.
Good. Never saw you coming. No.
Ew, wait.
Ew.
Here's our book haul. These are my 2 food options.
Oh, because there's a restaurant in the background?
Do you see? Look at a pumpkin.
Okay.
It's food!
Okay, it's a stretch, but okay.
Okay, and this one's popcorn.
Well, yeah. Yes. Okay, so popcorn, sure. A pumpkin.
I figured a fall romance would be cute to read in the buzzword. And when I'm looking at, I saw a lot of books with never in the title, and I'm going to try them all out at home, like samples of them before I buy something. But a lot of them were romance. So I thought I could pair a never romance with a nonfiction. This is about Scream, like the movie.
Oh, yeah?
Like how they made it and like how it changed the landscape of horror. Yeah, so I'm really excited to read this. But then I just wanted this one just in case, because
A just in case book.
what would you say this cover is giving? Like if you had to think of if you had to think of a TV show that this is embodying, is there anything that comes to mind?
Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls.
Oh.
Everyone says that this is the book embodiment of Gilmore Girls.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
I just thought I would buy it to have it. If I don't read it for this video, maybe something else. Now, show us what you bought.
The Things Gods Break.
There's so many of them.
Yes. Well, it just came out, so this is book 2.
And the other book,
Red Rising.
is it like a competition book?
It's in the far future. It's a colony on Mars. There's a class system.
Is it adult? I feel like maybe our main character starts out kind of young and then
Yes, he's 16 and just got married.
married.
I read the first chapter already.
Oh, okay. I bought a couple other things, but they're for a different video, so that's gonna stay a secret.
Always.
Good day, my friends. I just finished doing a live show with my channel besties, and we discussed why I love horror, essays on horror literature. It was an 1.5-hour live show. I had so much to talk about. I took away so much, and everyone else had brought so many good thoughts and ratings for each individual story, and I just had a really good time. And I'm so in the mood to keep talking about nonfiction, reading nonfiction. So this is gonna be my pick. I thought I was gonna pick the romance one, and I thought, if I'm giving you the real tea, I thought for sure when I had Rob pick my Goodreads Choice Awards romance category, I thought he would pick that one. I thought he would pick the fall one, and I would get to double up in this vlog. So I didn't buy it solely because of the Goodreads Choice Awards video, because I just know I want to read this book. Gilmore Girls vibes, the fall thing. Most people seem to be liking it. So I really wanted to give it a go in this season. But in this moment, I just think that this is really calling to me. I want to rewatch Scream. October was not long enough for me. I'm absolutely still bringing the horror vibes into November. I'm not done with them yet. And so that conversation has, even though I got a bloody nose halfway through talking about horror, I feel even more invigorated to keep reading nonfiction horror. So this is my pick. It's by Ashley Cullins, How the Scream Films Rewrote the Rules of Horror. I really just think I'm about to love this. So I'll let you know maybe a third of the way in how I'm feeling about it. Oh my God, instant change of plans. Okay, so I was just making myself a yogurt bowl. Like a month ago, when I was planning for this buzzword, I reserved like every book from the library that had never in the title as an audiobook so I could test out a whole bunch of different things. And I just got this notification that my holds are expiring today. So I was like, let me pop in while I'm making my yogurt bowl, the audiobook for all of these. I'll just listen to the first chapter of all of them, and then I'll let the people know what I'm into. I only got to the second book, and I know what I'm reading. So I read the first chapter of We Were Never Here by Andrea Bartz, and this started out so boring. It read like a memoir, the first chapter. Like I felt like I was reading someone's real life, and it was so boring. And every single person that I've seen has given this a 3.5 on Goodreads. I don't want a 3.5 today. I want a 4 or above, okay? Then I listened to the first chapter of Never Planned on You, which I'm realizing in this moment only That's a cake. There's food. There is food on this cover. And in this moment, I don't even need to combine them on the same cover because I've already picked that popcorn one. But this fits both of the prompts. So like, what am I doing? But this is what I'm reading. This is what I'm reading. Okay, so the first chapter, we meet Allie, and she meets Graham at a bar, which is so interesting because it talks about how he looks just like Jude Law in The Holiday. And I'm trying to figure out if the author even realized she named him the same name as the guy from The Holiday, because that is Jude Law's name in The Holiday. But so they meet in this bar. They have this one night together. I loved reading it. She is so confident, and she's competitive. And then next chapter, I find out she's an Aries. She is playing darts, and the book opens with my favorite game, King's Cup, but they're just calling it King's here, where you have to like go around the table and you pick a card and everyone has to do it. So they're like waterfalling their drinks, they're getting wasted, and she has this one night with this guy, and then suddenly they don't know each other, and it's years later, and she comes across him again, and I'm just so intrigued because I can't figure out what the hell this book is doing. At this point, I have not read the synopsis of all of the things. I don't even know if I've ever read the synopsis, or I think I just reserved them all. But the romance feels so strong already. Like 50 pages in, they seem interested in each other. They ran back into each other after that one night where they got matching tattoos, and they had this crazy moment, and that's totally her vibe, but not his. He's very stuffy. He has a lot of responsibility. He takes life pretty seriously, and she introduced him to this like one fun night, and I guess he's kind of always thought about her. She's always thought about him, but not in a serious way because they live on different continents. But now they have this moment where they come back into contact with each other, and I don't understand how 300 pages makes any sense for this story, because they already are back interested in each other. Like, they have this great chemistry, and he is a little like hesitant, it seems, but like I can't figure out what the fuck is happening. But I already love their vibe. Like I want them together, and I'm wondering if I'm gonna get bored in the 300 pages, or I'm just so intrigued by what the heck is about to happen that I have to read this. This has to be my pick. And this fits for my bingo because I'm supposed to read a book about weddings. And this isn't what I was planning on reading for this. I had a different book planned in the back of my mind, but she is a wedding planner. She's just getting into wedding planning, and her family sees her as like bouncing around to different careers. But in her mind, and I agree, it's that like she is taking a piece of all of these different jobs that she thinks she wants to do and combining them into the perfect career for her. And it's so hard to know if you're going to like a job until you actually try it out. So she is at a difficult point in life where she's moving back in with her parents. Her parents don't think that she's responsible, and she's ready to like find what she's really passionate about. And so she's interning at this wedding planning place, and she wants to be taken seriously as a wedding planner. And it's about like the organization and the creativity and like making people's day perfect. And she is also like a kind of cynical person though. She's not like this bubbly, annoying protagonist to me. She's organized, she's trying to get her life together, but she's kind of a mess at the same time. And she's just very free-spirited and fun. I started listening to the first chapter, and then I listened to the first 4 chapters, and I just had to pause what I was doing and focus in. And this 50 pages has really intrigued me. Now I need to get back to making my yogurt bowl. I'm so excited. I'm liking it. I'm gonna sit down, physically read, eat the aforementioned yogurt bowl, and then I'll check in with you. This was going to be just a cute reading montage. What the fuck? What? Excuse me? What? Allie's planning her first big wedding. This is big for her professional career. And when she is rekindling, she thought she was rekindling this romance with this guy. In his mind, they were just out for dinner as friends, because when she shows up to work the next day, he is the groom that she's planning the wedding for. That's in the synopsis. At one point, I must have known that, but that's crazy. Him and his fiance are planning a marriage of convenience. Like, there was a weird vibe at the beginning from that woman because she was like, oh, me and my friend, I'm marrying my friend, my best friend. And Allie was like, you mean the love of your life? She's like, oh yeah, sure. This is not a spoiler. This is all in the synopsis. I didn't know or didn't remember. It is going to be a wait because either they're going to break off the wedding, the marriage of convenience, obviously that's how it's going to go, they're going to be involved while he's still planning the wedding and while she's planning his wedding. That's so messy. At first I was like, do I want to read that? This is a deal breaker, I'm sure, for many readers, that this like kind of love triangle situation. Lots of questionable morals and professionality, but I like mess, so I think it's still for me. But that threw me for a loop. Good morning. Don't mind the dry shampoo in my hair. Today is a we can't fuck around kind of day. I have shit to do. I have things to say. I woke up with a cold. I freaked myself out thinking that I had COVID just a couple days before going on our girls trip. It's negative. I DNF'd my book last night, which means I am 1 day behind on my reading schedule. I have to start my Goodreads Choice Awards vlog. So we got to wrap this one up. I can't fuck around right now. So what's the most unhinged thing I could possibly do? Pick up a dark fantasy romance inspired by Peter Pan. It's only like 4 hours, this audiobook. I tried out upwards of 15 first chapters of books last night. None of them intrigued me by their first chapter. So I just need to read something short to get this video over with, to hit my challenge. No matter what I read, I feel like I'm going to give it 2 or 3 stars. And if I didn't do this, I was just going to cancel the whole vlog and fail at my reading challenge. This was the shortest thing that I could find that I thought, if nothing else, maybe I will have a silly reaction to. So I'm going to pop in my headphones. I'm not going to buy this book. It's like $25. It just got re-released. Maybe it's like a special edition, or maybe it was indie published. I have no idea, but it's called The Never King. I've read some Peter Pan inspired things before. This one I'm assuming is smutty just based on the cover, but I could be wrong. In the first chapter, we met a character whose name I can't even remember, but her grandmother is Wendy Darling. And Peter Pan has come and stolen everyone from her family for a couple months, a couple years. I don't know what he does with them, but once they turn 18, he whisks them away. And so our main character, her mother, has been preparing for this day and has been so worried and trying to protect her daughter, but nothing can stop Peter Pan from coming now that he smells an 18-year-old. What's crazier is I DNF'd this book in the middle of a sex scene. It took 50%. I was just getting more and more annoyed by this book because I actually don't mind morally questionable characters. I don't think the book has to take a positive stance or teach the reader anything. So the fact that she was still like gung-ho over this guy, even thinking that he was engaged to another woman, because it took 50% of the way through the book before he revealed to her that it was a marriage of convenience. And she was still like pursuing him, and they even kissed. So in his mind, like, he knew he wasn't cheating, but in her mind, she was encouraging him to cheat with her client. Like, the professional morals are so wrong here. But like, I don't even honestly care about that because it makes for an interesting story. But it took 50% of the way for him to even reveal that. Like, he's just an idiot. I can't stand reading about him because I'm like, why would you not say something earlier? And then in the scene where he literally revealed that this woman is just his friend and he doesn't have feelings for her, that's when they get it on. So like, I don't know, just the transition from being like, oh, I hate this woman, to her being like, okay, that makes me so horny that you hate this other woman. And then the sex scene was just like the most generic sex scene I've ever read. You could have plucked it from any other book. It was just like every single generic phrase, every single generic grunt. I can excuse cheating, but not a boring sex scene. I had to DNF it. I was gonna give it like a 3 by the end. Like, I could not put myself through another 150 pages. And you know what? This is probably gonna be equally as bad, but at least maybe it'll be funny, or you will think my reactions are funny. I even tried historical romance. Like, that's how desperate I was to find something last night that I wanted to read. There's nothing. Nothing in existence with never in the title is a book that I am interested in reading. So let's get this audiobook going. I'm into chapter 2 now. Oh, and it was free on Libby, so that was another reason why I was like, I guess let's just do it. Peter Pan has his own, there's a narrator for Peter Pan. He gets his own perspective chapters. Okay, now what's the obsession with 18-year-olds? Tell us. so Never Neverland is dying, and he thinks one of these girls eventually is the one and will like save him and his world. Okay. He said the only rule is we don't fuck the darlings. We break the darlings. Fucking the darlings is what got us into this situation to begin with. Oh God. What? She literally got kidnapped. She's chained up. Her mother has been mentally ill her entire life, and people think she's crazy because she's like, I got kidnapped by Peter Pan. And she wakes up, her first thought is, ooh, this is kinky. Hello? You're a prisoner. Oh my God, whoever's narrating this chapter is terrible.
How many darlings have walked through the halls of the treehouse? I've lost track. Vane, of course, is about as subtle as a hammer and will terrorize her until she sobs. It's a good thing I make damn good cloudberry pancakes.
Why are they all getting perspectives? I'm starting to get worried about what and who is actually about to participate in everything that's happening in this book. Ah! Here to take a thumbnail. I was just about to take my thumbnail. Wow. Obviously I knew this was erotica, but for some reason I thought maybe we would build throughout the series, because I think it's a series of novellas. At least the first book is only like 200 or 150 pages or something. So I thought maybe it was like a series where eventually it would be erotica. And I was wrong. Okay, so much participation. The actual plot of this is so stupid, because like there's this whole island of lost boys, and they specifically don't want this girl to get any information, but there's other girls on the island and there's other people for her to talk to, and at every turn they just leave her alone with random people who can feed her information and the history of the island that Peter Pan doesn't want her to know, because he thinks that her family stole his shadow and he needs to get it back. But he doesn't want her to have any information because it can mess with her memories and affect like the information she can share with him, because he wants to like, you know, dissect her mind. But they constantly leave her alone with other people, and there are way too many lost boys for this to make any sense, because they could all easily just like be the security, but instead they're just like walking around talking to people all the time instead of actually taking care of the one girl they think can save the entire island. Also, we just got 2 more narrators, and I don't know how this stupid book got this big of a budget for this audiobook. But I'm gonna keep listening while I work on my members calendar for December. All of my video plans, all of our live shows, everything that will be happening. I'm 50% of the way through the audiobook.
Haven't got my mind right. Yeah. Every time I try to sleep, I'm wide awake at midnight.
She's imprisoned. She's chained up. She's being held hostage. And he's like, I'm glad you're taking it so well. And she goes, if only he had seen me taking it last night.
In the silence of a long fight. Fight. I'm talking to the walls in the nighttime, while everybody's sleeping, need a lifeline. My demons always creeping in the dark night. I'm lucid fucking dreaming till the sun's bright. I'll only find my peace when I pass out. When my eyes can barely open, I see black now. I'm pushing through the cold like a snowplow, and it's all because I haven't got my mind right. Yeah. Every time I try to sleep, I'm wide awake at midnight. Talking in my mind, overthinking till the daylight.
All I have to say is, while the other book that I was trying to read for this video has food on the cover, this one highlights food a lot more. This feels more in theme with the buzzword without the food being on the cover. The things that she's doing with food and these boys, and they're shoving things places.
Nothing but a loner. My mind is always menacing. The silence always deafening. My body's always trembling. I'm choked up on a medicine. I'm lost in the mirage. I'm drifting away.
Wait, why is this so romantic?
I'm stuck in the mess. Haven't got my mind right. Yeah. Every time I try to sleep, I'm
Interesting ending. Winnie decides to stay in Neverland with all of her boys who love and adore her, but also sleep with her and watch other people sleeping with her. And she's just the one in the Darling family who was meant for them because she wants to sleep with all of them, I guess, and she has no qualms about doing so. And then Peter Pan gets the thing back that he's looking for, but there's a little twist. There's something else that makes you want to pick up the next book in the series. I will never be picking up the next book in the series. Never, 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 never. What I will say is I don't know if I think I just got used to the writing style, but I don't think it was as bad by the end as it started out. Dubious consent aside. If you're into spitting in each other's mouths and the baddest man of them all suddenly being sweet and caring when the other boys are doing things that are questionable and whisking her away and caring for her, yeah, maybe that's for you. Good God. Somehow that's exactly what I needed to read today. I'm not going to be rating that. Now we can move on from erotically stimulating to intellectually stimulating with the nonfiction. Yep, this was the perfect pairing. This is exactly what I needed to do today. Okay, I have officially completed the first third of this, and I'm listening to another audiobook because the person, Ghostface, in the movie actually narrates the audiobook. And when he does the chapter titles, he does it in the Ghostface voice, and it was really fun to listen to. So I decided to download that, and I'm quite enjoying that. There's moments where he has to talk about himself, though, that I can't imagine, felt so weird recording. He was like, and then they got on board Justin, I can't remember his name. Did I say Justin? Jackson was what I was thinking of. Roger L. Jackson. And so far, I think it's been everything that I expected it to be. Like, we talked about how the movie even came to be, the producers who got on board, the writer, the agent, all the actors, how many actors they had, how Natasha Lyonne and Brittany Murphy and Brooke Shields were up at certain points to be cast. And it just feels more authentic, I guess, than looking at IMDb trivia, because kind of anybody can write those. But this obviously had to be authenticated by someone, and I'm sure in the back there's, source notes that explain where everything came from. And it's more enjoyable than reading a list of trivia, even if you know all of the facts, because you get quotes from every single actor. I don't know if they were specifically, I know some of the quotes already, so I know that they were from elsewhere, but maybe also Ashley Cullen's maybe got direct quotes from certain people. Why Scream was so successful is so interesting for her to interrogate and for various people to give their insight into why they wanted to make it and why they think it was a hit. One of it being, at this time, horror movies starring teenagers and for teenagers weren't the most popular. And if they were, the teenagers were in their own universe and weren't aware of horror movies. And something about Scream is it's meta, but also sincere at the same time. It does exist as it is a horror movie, but at the same time it's aware of horror movies, and it's it knows it's in the horror universe, which is why it's so fun that the characters talk about horror movies, the rules of horror movies. Of course, if you haven't seen the movies, this does spoil all of them, so I mean, who's going to pick this up? Who's not already a fan? Like, that is who this is for. I just read a chapter about the sequel and like why making the sequel was so important and how they had to frame it. And something that's so interesting is I definitely watched this. I can't imagine I watched this in the theater. That wouldn't have been a thing. So it must have been a rental from Blockbuster. I definitely at that time didn't know who Drew Barrymore was. Yeah, because this would have come out in 1995. So maybe I watched it right before I watched one of my favorite movies that she's in, Never Been Kissed. She went on to be my favorite, but I didn't watch like E.T. or anything that she was in prior to this. So they talked about multiple times in here how Drew Barrymore was a big pull for this movie and how they wanted to bait and switch viewers by putting her on the movie poster and having her highlighted at the beginning as if she's the main character. And then her character dies at the very beginning and she's not indeed the main character, even though originally she was cast as Sidney Prescott. But it was her idea that she die at the very beginning, a very gruesome death. That's not a spoiler because like that's just how Scream opens and that's not what the plot actually is. I even dressed up just like this with this kind of wig and this sweater for Halloween like last year or the year before. I was obsessed with Scream, but I definitely can't remember watching it the first time. And when I watched it, it wasn't as, you know, the people intended, where like I thought Drew Barrymore was the star and when she got killed right away it was a shock. Like I feel like I was just watching a movie and I didn't know what to expect. Also, I would have literally been 8 or 9 years old when I watched it, but there are definitely scenes that stuck in my memory going forward. Look what came in the mail. You can't tell what it is, I guess, unless you know. Oh no, it says right here. Oh hoo has markers. These ones lasted me 2 years. And that's like not even coloring that much. I think, well, okay, they didn't run out of ink, but I think perhaps I put a little too much pressure. Now I probably can't find an example when I color, because quite a few of these, they're still usable for sure, but they lasted me like kind of pristine condition for 2 years. And now quite a few of them have gotten like frayed. And now all the ones I just pulled out are perfect still. I'm still going to use these. But people always talk about like the water-based markers compared to alcohol-based ones. And there's kind of a benefit in my mind to each of them. I've always used the water-based ones for coloring books. But like I've talked about a million times, I have a girls' weekend coming out. It's just the highlight of my year, apparently, this time of year. And we all like to color. And I didn't want to bring the ones that had a lot of frayed, you know, tips. Or like some of them are bent and crooked. And so I decided to get the alcohol ones. This is Honolulu B, the set. I don't know if I recommend them yet, but they're the thicker ones. And I think that the tips are like a little more sturdy. And I like the ones that feel more like paint. So I don't know if I'll like these, but I wanted to try it because layering color is a lot easier with these, because you can't, like when you do the water-based ones, you can always see the lines that you're making, but apparently the alcohol ones don't do that. So I'm just gonna see if I like these. I hope I like them. They were expensive. That's my mail update of the day. And my book update is I'm gonna go ahead and give this 5 stars. I have no reason not to give this 5 stars. I thought it was incredibly well researched. It was well written. This is exactly the person, I don't know who she is, but the person who should have been writing this. She's obviously done a lot of research, is really close to the series. When I said at the beginning, I don't know if all of these quotes are her doing interviews or if they're quotes pulled from elsewhere. And now I know, because so much of this like final third, I would say, was a lot of her saying, when I spoke to Neve Campbell, she told me this. And so we got direct quotes. When I was on set for Scream 7, this happened. So she gave us some insight into the upcoming movie, no more than like, you know, any various interviews would have or trailers would have, but just what she hopes for the movie, what everybody hopes for the movie. And I'm not someone who follows like movie making. Even if I really care about the franchise, like I don't know anything about the behind the scenes of it. I don't actually know who directed all of them or wrote all of them. Like that's not something that I look into when, I don't know, like I don't have a favorite director like everybody. Like I probably should care about movies in that way and who's actually making them. Unlike books, I just don't find myself thinking about who's writing things. So this is going to be a surprise to nobody unless you don't like, if you haven't seen Scream, you don't know anything about it. But the person who wrote the original Scream, who came up with the idea, he's never directed the movies, but he's the one directing Scream 7. And I didn't know that. And he's not a director, but he like is taking the reins after all of these years. They were like, let's bring it back to this guy. And I just think that's so cool. And I guess I learned something from this I wasn't expecting. I feel like for most people, it'll be full of fun facts. I feel like I came across most of this information elsewhere. But I've just never really thought about writers and directors. That's probably terrible. Or like creators of series. Like I just enjoy the thing and then I leave the thing behind. I'm not really appreciating. I've never watched like a full, Oscars, not that this would be in the Oscars, but like I just don't, I guess, appreciate or recognize the people who actually make the things happen. So that makes me even more excited about the 7th movie. All of them have gone through their trials. Like people have been cast, people have left, people have been fired. That was touched on briefly. I'm sure Ashley Collins has to kind of wade carefully with all of these people letting her in on the Scream universe. She can't be too critical of the Scream universe, but she talked about many times about how, or many cast and crew lended their voices to this and said things like, we always feel really welcome and encouraged to share our opinions and share our thoughts. And I'm gonna say saying I don't know the director was not true for this. That was just a generalization. But I did not know, I suppose is what I should have said, who took over directing after the original director left the series, passed away. There was an entire chapter on Wes Craven and people just talking so highly of him and what working with him was like and how he brought the franchise into being something so incredible. It's kind of like when people talk about Gilmore Girls and how there have been different directors and writers, and like that's not something I ever really paid attention to until like everyone was talking about it and I was like, oh, this is something I should probably learn. I think the one fun fact that was in here that I learned is there was a scene originally written for I Know What You Did Last Summer that they didn't know how to like properly film it and make it great, and so they left it out of the script, and then it was brought into and placed into a Scream movie because they were like, oh, he'll know what to do with it, like he'll figure out how to put this in and film it. Oh, Kevin Williamson, his name is right on the front, he literally blurbed this book. Kevin Williamson, creator and screenwriter of Scream and director of Scream 7. Hell yeah, I think that's so cool. I'm ashamed I didn't know that beforehand because I'm sure this was news, like everyone was probably talking about this a year ago and I just didn't know necessarily who and what we were talking about. This is absolutely essential reading. I feel like if you haven't seen the movies in years, before we all go watch Scream 7, I think it comes out in February, because it reminds you of all the characters, all the stories that each movie covered, all the reveals, just in a really fun and engaging way, not just a list of like, here's what happened in this movie, remember this? It almost felt like a narrative that we were following in here of these people who were putting together this film franchise. And one of my favorite things to think about that I guess I've never really thought about with Scream is part of the success is, and the inventiveness and constant creativity is that every single movie has a different person behind the mask. And someone was talking about it in some portion about how it was fun because they didn't have to think about the realities of, well, how do we make this character live this long? And 10 years later, like, how do we explain that the villain is still alive? They didn't have to do that because in every single movie, it's somebody different. I read about every single villain, every single ghost face in each movie and how they got the part and how they reacted to getting the part, because it's always really hush-hush at the beginning when they're casting people because they don't want the person or everyone to even know who Ghostface is because they want it to be a reveal. And that's what makes me so excited to go watch the 7th one in theaters. The last couple I have not watched right when they came out. And I don't know if I was spoiled for them or I just wasn't super hyped on them, or I don't really know where my head was at. But this one I feel really excited, especially in reading this, to think about the fact that these people are thinking so hard about what reveals they want and what type of story they want to tell this time, and how they want the audience to react. And it was really just fun getting into the minds of all of these people that I guess I've never really thought about. So I had an interesting read today and I had a great read today. And I think we can call this a successful vlog. And I'm glad that I'm still on track for my buzzword readathon. There's 1 month left and I'm going to win. Let me know where you're at, if you're caught up, maybe the best book you've read so far. And next month, for anyone who's stuck until the end of this, I'm going to pose a question to you. If you have any questions for my mom that you would like her to answer in like a superlative type of moment, because I obviously do my end of year stats, and I figured when I sit down with her in December for our last TBR planning and book shopping, I could have her do a recap of her best books of the year. And is there any other questions you would specifically like to ask her? Like, what series are you most excited to return to, or what's your favorite something, or anything that you want any insight on from my mom, because you've hung out with her, it'll be 12 times this year. I would love to know if you would love to know anything. And I will see you next month for that, but also in a couple days with something else. Bye.